In a world where fifth-generation fighter jets dominate headlines and hypersonic missiles capture the imagination of military analysts, one silent, low-cost weapon is rewriting the rules of modern warfare: drones. And no country has mastered the art of weaponizing these silent killers quite like Iran. What makes Iran's drone program so dangerous is not just the sophistication of its technology or the volume of its arsenal, but its ability to project power far beyond its borders, all while maintaining plausible deniability. At first glance, Iranian drones may seem primitive compared to American Reapers or Turkish Bayraktars, but that's a dangerous underestimation. Iran's strategy has never been about matching Western tech one for one. Instead, it has focused on volume, deception, and saturation. When a drone costs only a few $1,000s to build, it can be used in swarms, launched from multiple fronts, and even sacrificed in kamikaze-style attacks. And when these drones target multi-million-dollar defense systems or oil infrastructure, the economics of war suddenly flip upside down. One of the most high-profile examples was the 2019 attack on Saudi Arabia's Aramco oil facilities. Using a combination of cruise missiles and drones, the attackers temporarily halved Saudi oil production in just a few hours without triggering a full-scale war. The weapons used were later traced back to Iranian designs, though Iran denied responsibility. This ambiguity is what makes Iran's drone strategy so effective. By using proxies like the Houthis in Yemen or militias in Iraq and Syria, Iran can strike regional enemies while remaining in the shadows. Iran's drone industry, once reliant on smuggled components and reverse engineering, has grown into a robust domestic manufacturing machine. It produces a wide range of UAVs, reconnaissance drones for surveillance, armed drones for precision strikes and loitering munitions, also known as suicide drones that hover over targets for hours before diving in for the kill. Models like the Shahed 129 and Mohajer 6 have already seen combat use in Iraq, Syria, and beyond. The infamous Shahed 136, a loitering munition, has gained notoriety on a global scale for its role in Russia's invasion of Ukraine. After reports emerged that Moscow had purchased hundreds of these Iranian drones. The presence of Iranian drones in Ukraine signals something far more dangerous than mere arms sales. It reveals a growing military alliance between Iran and other anti-Western powers. By supplying drones to Russia, Iran not only gains battlefield data to improve its tech, but also signals that its influence is no longer confined to the Middle East. This expands the threat beyond Iran's neighbors and into the global arena. The use of drones also changes the rules of engagement. Drones can fly under radar, navigate through GPS jamming, and even be equipped with artificial intelligence. They can swarm defenses, overload missile shields, and hit soft targets with minimal risk to the attacker. In essence, drones allow nations like Iran to punch far above their weight. Even more alarming is the way Iran exports drone capabilities to its regional proxies. Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, and various militias in Iraq now have access to Iranian drone technology. These groups have already used drones for attacks on American bases, Israeli infrastructure, and Saudi targets. In 2021, a drone packed with explosives targeted the residence of the Iraqi prime minister. In 2022, Houthi drones attacked Abu Dhabi's oil facilities, killing several civilians. These were not traditional military confrontations. They were silent, asymmetric, and highly calculated. This type of warfare presents serious challenges for traditional defense systems. Patriot missile batteries and Iron Dome systems, while effective, are expensive and designed for more conventional threats. When faced with dozens or hundreds of cheap drones coming in from multiple directions, even the best defense can be overwhelmed. Iran knows this. It's not just building drones, it's rewriting the playbook for future wars. Iran's strategic use of drones also serves its geopolitical goals. By spreading low-cost, high-impact drone technology to non-state actors, Iran destabilizes its adversaries while maintaining enough distance to avoid direct retaliation. It's a form of asymmetric warfare that allows Tehran to exert pressure on the US, Israel, and Saudi Arabia without risking a full-scale confrontation. Its warfare in the gray zone deniable, dispersed, and deadly, Western intelligence has repeatedly warned that Iran's drone program is advancing rapidly. U.S. officials have described it as one of the fastest growing threats in the Middle East. Israeli defense experts now consider drone infiltration one of their top national security concerns. Even NATO has begun integrating drone defense drills in response to the lessons learned in Ukraine, many of which involve countering Iranian drones supplied to Russian forces. The future of warfare is not about who has the most tanks or planes, it's about who can adapt fastest. And Iran has shown a remarkable ability to adapt. It has turned embargoes into innovation and isolation into resilience. While Western powers invest billions into stealth bombers and missile defense systems, Iran is quietly building an empire of cheap, effective, and disposable flying weapons. The real danger lies in how quickly this model can spread. If Iran can arm its allies with drones today, what's to stop other rogue states or terrorist groups from following suit tomorrow? Already, there are signs that Iranian drone blueprints and manufacturing expertise are being shared with other nations. In Syria, drone assembly lines have been discovered in militia-controlled areas. In Iraq, workshops producing drone parts have been raided by coalition forces. The genie is out of the bottle, and putting it back won't be easy. There is also a psychological aspect to drone warfare. The constant threat of an unseen, silent attacker wears down morale. Civilians living near conflict zones now hear the buzzing of drones overhead as a daily occurrence. Unlike traditional aircraft, which require airports and large runways, drones can be launched from trucks, rooftops, or even ships. This mobility makes them nearly impossible to track until it's too late. Moreover, the integration of AI and autonomous targeting raises a terrifying possibility, a future where drones no longer need human operators. Iran has already tested semi-autonomous capabilities. As this technology matures, drones may be able to identify and attack targets without a human pressing the trigger. That's not just a threat to soldiers, it's a threat to civilians, to infrastructure, and to the very concept of warfare as we know it. So, what can be done? The world must recognize the Iranian drone threat for what it truly is, a global security issue, not just a regional nuisance. Counter-drone technology must be developed, shared, and deployed more aggressively. This includes electronic warfare systems, directed energy weapons, and AI-driven countermeasures. Diplomatic pressure on Iran's drone exports must increase. And proxy groups using Iranian drones should face unified international sanctions. Most importantly, the narrative must change. Iran's drone program is not a sideshow, it's the centerpiece of its military doctrine. And if ignored, it will continue to evolve, spread, and destabilize regions far beyond the Middle East. The era of silent wars has begun, and Iran, through its drones, is leading the charge not with thunder, but with a whisper that can shatter peace from 1,000 miles away.